If you want to, and you have little whatever the tape measure thing, you can do that way. The two ways to do it for the shoulder pad is you would go around the chest, put your arms up for me, and then you would just match up wherever it crosses. Obviously, this one's going to be too short because it's for my helmets only, but and youth stuff. So wherever it would cross. So if it were crossing at the 11, that's what you would use. At the 13, that's what you would use. The 15, that's what you would use. So there's two measurements. Otherwise, the other one is on the back. You do the same thing. So you go turn it around here. So you go from like AC joints on the top of the shoulder blade to AC joint on the top of the shoulder blade. And same thing. Just measure out where it crosses. So he would be probably 14 here. So that's what you could go off of if you just want to go off sizes, and I can send out the sizes if you want. Well, we might have to get them from Rusty because there's, but it should say them right on there. Yeah, right there. So that's 17 to 18. So you can do it that way with just using this and not actually putting it on. But as far as when you put it on, the things you're going to want, obviously you want this when it buckles through to not be rubbing up in their arms. You want to make sure it's kind of down a little lower. You do want it to feel almost where they're kind of complaining a little that it's a little tight and uncomfortable. You don't want it too loose. The other one. So if it gets up into like his armpit, you don't want it up in there obviously, so it's not grinded on. And then you want it to get down to about nipple size. So you're covering the whole sternum. And then obviously you want to make sure you're covering the shoulder here. And again, those AC joints. And on the back, you're going to want to make sure that it's same thing, covering down around the back. And the clavicle, and or not clavicle, the shoulder blades, both the shoulder blades. Make sure those are covered. So this one actually might be a little big on him. Do you have a small?
No, those are small. Oh, that's a medium. Oh, that's a medium. Oh.
And it would work, so he's kind of in between. I have a feeling of the small and the medium here.
Small. Just 16, 17 right here.
Yeah, we got one.
You got small. Okay.
And then obviously, like he was talking about your cuts. No, there's not a, that thing's broke, but your cuts are going to change how it fits on guys too. So O-line, you probably don't have any O-line, D-line. Most guys just get all-purpose and skill. So
We have some other
old one. So yeah, most of them are going to be skill or all-purpose. I usually, most honestly, even a lot of the kids that, like I just fit a quarterback at another school, he wants to use the all-purpose instead of the skill. He just likes the extra protection. But so this one, in my opinion, what do you think? How does it feel?
Good.
I think the small, he's kind of between, but the small would probably be the better. He's still covering down here. It's not up into his armpit yet, and it's still covering the back. And you give them a little leeway. Obviously, you want it to be what you guys think is safe, but there's a little leeway to fit too. It doesn't have to be too crazy. This is what you have to have, but that's on you guys for your decisions. But
So how about just any, when you look at a pair of shoulder pads, wear and tear, busted buckles, things like that.
yeah,
Are there things that you say this should be a showstopper? Don't use this
the
pair.
biggest thing obviously is the athletes. That's the biggest thing. Making sure these are still in good shape. Those are kind of what go first, just because that's what hits the most. Other than that, yeah, you want your buckle. Like this one has a broken buckle, so I'd stay away from it until you have to, because you want it to be in here. I mean, you can put it through there, but that's not ideal. So yeah, broken buckles is kind of the big thing. There's no real life on pads. I mean, there is, but it's not like helmets where they say 10 years. There's no like true life. They're actually working on that, figuring out what would that look like how many years should we make
standard.
get rid of them. Yeah, because I go into some rooms and there's 15, 20-year-old shoulder pads. They're trying to stay away from them, but yeah, those are the big things. The loops. If you have swivel ones, like our new pad has swivels. It doesn't look like you have any of those, so make sure those are in working order. Obviously, if they swivel. But that's the big thing, buckles, and then making sure these are attached correctly. Not missing any pieces on there, because that's gonna be the big part, that and that.
Okay,
So,
great. Thank you.
pretty simple on the shoulder pads.